I just landed from the airport, and I was told about 3-4 days back that I have to be in this gathering of the leaders of tomorrow. So it's a great pleasure for me to be amidst you. And hardly I had 2 minutes time with Mr. Shiv Khemka to understand about the activities which has been undertaken not only in India but across the world. And I was telling him that our young friends have heard, I think, in the last 3 days, different speakers, leaders from different religions, trying to inculcate among you the virtue of morality, ethics, values in achieving the great heights in the life to make this global community a place worth living. But I asked Mr. Khemka, I'm sure they have not heard a judge, because normally judges do not speak. Judges speak through their judgments. Sometimes people like it, sometimes they don't like it. But as a matter of fact, what you are doing and what I did as a lawyer, as a judge for almost 18 years, as a Chief Justice, and now as a chairman of the Human Rights Commission, is directly linked with what life is doing. Everybody wants to be rich. Everybody wants to have fame. Everyone to have success. Nobody wants to fail. And here lies the underlying idea as to what success is. A person is successful in life based on deceit, fraud, embezzlement, by usurping the right of other, whether in his own inner self, she or he will feel comfortable. That's one issue which will guide your destinies for future. When you achieve success by not fair means, by usurping the right of other, then it's not success in life. I tell you, the role of a judge. I became judge in 1992 in Delhi High Court. After about 2 years, I had a roster of the criminal side. A person who was convicted, he filed an appeal, convicted by the lower court. He filed an appeal that was listed before me. I heard that appeal. His lawyer made good arguments, and it was a case for his appeal being allowed, and he was to be acquitted. But I personally knew that man, that he's a bad man. I thought, come what? I'm going to hang him. In the evening, normally people think that judges work till 4 o'clock, but the judges work in the court till 4 o'clock. And in India, they write their judgment thereafter. So I dictated my judgment to my secretary, holding him guilty and dismissing his appeal. But that I did against the evidence on record, because I knew that he was a bad man. Tell me, as a judge, did I think I did right or wrong? What do you feel? Anybody? All right, I won't test you. I breached my oath, which I took as a judge. Judge is not a government servant in India. The powers of judiciary, the constitutional judiciary, is higher than the executive. And the oath, the only oath is provided in the Constitution of India, is for the President and judges of the Supreme Court and High Court. No other office has got provided in the Constitution of India. And that oath says that I owe allegiance to the Constitution of India. I shall do justice without fear, favor, ill will, affection. So help me God. When without basis of on record, I sustained my personal belief, I breached that oath. And my dear friends, the whole night I could not sleep. It was agitating in my mind. I have used personal knowledge or ill will against this fellow. In the morning at 7 o'clock, I called my secretary. I said, come. He said, sir, I'll come at 9 o'clock. I said, no, you come at 7 o'clock. Because I have to dictate something I have to add in the judgment which I have delivered yesterday. I was not announced. It was to be announced next day. One thought came to me. My secretary knew what I have said. I have dismissed the appeal. Now I will going to change my stand because I am going to allow the appeal. And what he will think? That in the night something happened with the judge. Because this is the world. I told him, no, I don't think I decided correctly. I want to change. And then I gave a fresh dictation. And I acquitted that person. It's an incident which I wanted to narrate for two things. Most of the actions which we do in our life is based on not what society demands, not what is correct, but what we feel it should be like that. So these two things has to be separated if you want to live with peace, with dignity, and can be the change makers. You must have that kind of courage and conviction that if I do this, though it is correct, but what people will feel about it. This is what, particularly in India, we are suffering from. Anything comes on the TV channels, people take it, it might be, it might not be, but there will be very few people. So what is actually the real education, which I think is a step which the organizers have undertaken? I have known Gauri Ishwaran for a long time because my granddaughter took admission in Sanskriti school. I was a sitting judge, and she won't listen to anybody. I was very happy. So what happened? I do not know why she admitted my granddaughter. I never spoke to her. Somebody said that, no sir, if you speak. I said, no, I won't speak, because I was that bad judge, I must tell you, who decided that there should not be any interview for this small 2-3-year-old kid for primary education when they go to schools. Because it was my firm belief that you can't interview a 3-year-old kid and every mama will teach that girl or boy, say good morning aunt in the morning, just immediately go there. And they will go on doing it. The poor fellow doesn't know how to go to potty. And he or she has to learn all these things. I say this is nonsense. And I think Gauriji will remember then I constituted a committee with Ashok Ganguly, who was at that time chairman of the CBSE, that you fix norms. I don't want that I should substitute my opinion what you should do. But thereafter I left for Chandigarh as the Chief Justice of Punjab and Haryana High Court, and I'm sure all the subsequent judges in the schools, they made mess out of it. I do not know how it is working. But anyhow, you are all young people who have passed through that stage. But when I sat in the court, in the context of telling my granddaughter's admission, because all the schools in Delhi, all big schools, they have a lot of money. I'm not talking about Sanskriti. DPS, modern, so and so, so and so. They engage all the best lawyer of the country. Fali Nariman, Soli Sorabji, Ashok Desai, Arun Jaitley was also a lawyer at that time. They all appeared. Of course, the lawyer from the Sanskriti was also there. Just I sat on the dais and the podium, and I asked them, look here, my granddaughter has been admitted to Sanskriti. Would you like that I should continue in hearing the case, or should I recluse from it? Or the lawyer said, no, my lord, you continue. But what I am telling, honesty and integrity, these two things go hand by hand. If one is honest, one has not to fear anything in the world. We may have setback. People say that, well, it is always good to be pliable in this world. Nobody likes honest people. But that's not true. Ultimate the people with conviction, with determination, with courage, with integrity, with dedication, they will succeed in life, and that's what we find today. The real education, I have always been thinking and telling whenever I go to any convocations or any other thing or students gathering or the universities, is yearning for knowledge and its practical application to the day-to-day life. That's the meaning of knowledge. You may have MBA, you may be LLB, you may be an engineer, you may be a lawyer, but unless there is a blend of combination of yearning for knowledge and its applicability in the practical life by the virtues of morality, values, nobody can be successful in the world. The success otherwise achieved will always be fanciful, as you see daily. It is happening daily. I don't want to name people. Some chief ministers are in jail. Some CEOs of the big companies are in jail. Maybe in New York, maybe in India, maybe somewhere else. So I think that when he say keynote speaker, he should have also said how much time. Because if you don't tell me the time, I can go on. Therefore, it's indeed a great pleasure for me to be here. I don't want to repeat things which has already been said to you about the various facets of your activities and the leadership which you have created over the years to make the world and to change the world. And to change the world even in thinking. That's more important. With these words, I am grateful for you having been invited me without any understanding of the subject which you have discussed, except 2-minute session. And I must give credit to him. Within 2 minutes, he make me wiser. Now I would ask the audience if they want to ask any question. I'll be glad to answer. This is what you expected from me?
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Good evening, sir. I think you started your talk by mentioning that decision which you took against the evidence you had. So what questions I think would be there in everyone's mind?
I'm a little hard of hearing.
Okay, so
therefore you be a little louder.
Okay.
I'm going to be 70, my dear. Yes.
Sorry. I'll just repeat. You talked about the decision you took against the evidence you had, and you actually broke your oath. So what I think the questions in everyone's mind is, what activity or which event actually led you to take the decision, even though you know you were doing the right thing, however, even though it was going against the mandate, what led you to take that decision, basically?
No, I think you got it wrongly. I said that the evidence was in his favor, in the favor of the accused. But he was convicted. And he filed an appeal against the order of conviction, which was listed before me as an appellate court in the High Court. And I, at the first instance, wanted to agree with the decision of the trial court, though his lawyer made out a case that there is no case against him. But because I knew he's a bad man, so that incorporation of my personal knowledge is against my oath as a judge. I cannot use any material which I may personally know, because then I am a biased person. Then I cannot hear that. Then I must recluse myself. That's it.
What was your motivation to join the judiciary from the young age?
No, I didn't hear.
Why did you become a judge?
Why did you?
What drove you to become a judge?
What?
Why did you decide to go into the
Oh,
judge?
that's a very funny question. You know why? When I became a judge in 92, to become a judge was not lucrative. Our friends from United States or England, or if they are here from the Western countries, because as a lawyer, and I was a senior lawyer, the Queen's Counsel, what they call in England, a lot of money. When you all the thing, everything is full. So any good lawyer at that time, now things changed thereafter. That's why they are in court. Thereafter, in 1994, by a Supreme Court decision in S.P. Gupta's case, the court took power of appointing judges on themselves. And that's how this challenge in the Supreme Court, if you are reading it. At that time, the Constitution of India has, I would say, is a great thing. Any good lawyer, he was asked by the Chief Justice of that court, come on, gentlemen, enough is enough. Forget about the money. Come on this side. And frankly telling you, I won't tell how much I was earning at that time. And at that time, the judge's salary was only, High Court, 8,000 rupees, which was the highest salary, because judges under the Constitution get highest salary after the president. It was 8,000 rupees. So when my Chief Justice asked me, I said, my Lord, I am grateful for your benevolence, but I don't think I am fit to be a judge. He said, well, that's my judgment. Give me consent within 2 days. So I have no choice. I went to my wife, and I went to my children, I went to my father, I went to my mother. And everybody says, very good, if you will be delighted if you become judge. Never forget about what I will do with this kind of money. So I never thought that I will be a judge. I always aspired to be a very arguing counsel, which I was. But, well, I became a judge. Yes?
We'll take one last question, please.
So I have a slightly tangential question. You know, you mentioned that you really don't believe that such young children should be pressured to learn complicated skills. But while there is that view in early childhood, there's also a contradictory view that that age 3 to 5, there's so much mental plasticity that that's the age you teach the children the foundational skills which they carry through their lives. So according to you, what are the things that should be emphasized for young children between 3 to 4 or 4 to 5 years of age?
You hear that, sir? No. What is, in your opinion, foundation of education when children are very young? What should they be learning?
You will say at the age of 4 or 5 years?
Yeah.
Well, 4 or 5 years, you cannot, basic foundation. I do not know how many of you have gone through, but when we were small kids of 4 or 5 years age, and the school which I went, moral education was one of the important subject, which I don't think is there. I was telling you, I think, maybe that you are also younger, much younger to me. But when I was a student in the first class, the moral education was part of the education system. And not only moral education. I think that the student should start. Now, what I feel as a chairman of the Human Rights Commission, why not the little bit of study of fundamentals of basic human rights, which includes everything. It's pollution-free, ecology, social service. Everything should be a part, because people try to confuse things. They think that it's something very big. Today, In the morning, we had a meeting with the governor of Uttarakhand. He invited me for a breakfast, and we were talking. And he said, sir, you have this sensitization program of our officers. I say, what officers? It's a simple thing. Please, you tell them. Good governance and human rights, they go together. If it is a good governance, it's protection of human right of the citizen. If it is a bad governance or no governance, it's a violation of human right. This is elementary part of life, which concern day to day should be a part of our curriculum. In what way, that I leave to the educationist. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
That's it?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Time has come.
tGELF, leading the change.